Gumloop's been coming up more and more often in some of the automation communities I'm in, so I thought I'd give it a go. This is my first time using Gumloop, and I'm going to attempt to build a workflow that does some research on some leads and starts to do some outreach, so a kind of AI SDR. How it's going to go, I don't know. There's going to be a lot of mistakes, a lot of kind of figuring out stuff as we go. First of all, I'm going to just quickly have a poke around the platform, just try and make sense of what's going on here. It looks like we've got a bunch of templates, as you would expect. I'm just going to see what we've got around, like sales, profile enhancer. Have we got a kind of an SDR thing? No. So I just want to see what I can start with to speed things up a bit. So it looks like we've got a personalized lead outreach template. Have we got anything around research maybe? Yeah, okay, so there's a lead researcher. So if I just go onto the sales and CRM, let's just see everything we've got here. So we've got an in-depth business research, personalized lead outreach, lead researcher. So I think in reality for like an AI SDR, I would likely need to tie a few of these together. In terms of where to start, I'm probably gonna go for the lead researcher because initially what I'm thinking is giving it a list of maybe 10 companies, and then from that I'm hoping that it can come back with the names of the people I should reach out to and a little bit of information on them. So what have we got? Okay, so first of all I'm going to copy this into my account. I assume that's going to let me then make edits. Saying I need to be logged in. How do I log in? Let's click get started, sign in with Google. Okay, we are in. So sign up was easy, that's a good start. So let's try and make sense of what we've got here. Ooh, the zoom is a little bit funny. I don't know if that's just my trackpad, but it feels like the zoom is like not quite natural. Wow, okay, this is, I feel like maybe I've jumped in at the deep end in terms of use cases to start with. So we're starting with an if statement. Okay, lead researcher, enter a company URL to get contact information. And what is the if statement based on? So the condition, if a draft personalized outreach email is false. Okay, right, so basically what this is saying is I need to fill out this information, and if I have that selected as no, go down one path. If I have this selected as yes, it's gonna go down a different path. Now, that's kind of interesting, this idea that you can kind of, it looks like you can sort of have triggers and then wrap triggers inside if statements. I'm not sure that's totally the most intuitive way of doing things, but fine, that's clear enough for me. So what's happening here? So then it's going off and doing some lead research and right, okay. So if I ticked yes, it's going to do lead research plus write an outreach email. If I tick no, it's going to just do lead research. So I'm going to select yes, let's draft an outreach email, and let's give it an example. I want it to do some research on Lindy AI. I'm not quite sure if, okay, that wants my, okay, it wants my email address, so I'll pop that in. I wasn't sure if that was asking me for the leads email, in which case that's kind of random because that's what I want it to go and get. Additional information, so I want to invite the CEO to do a video interview on YouTube. Hopefully that gives it a bit of context for writing the outreach email. Right, so let's now dig into what's happening here. So I've got a big annotation here saying this is a subflow. Hover over it and click open subflow. Okay, so that's interesting. So it looks as though this is basically a workflow within a workflow. So if we click, yeah, okay, interesting. And then same again here. Right, so these are sort of tabbed at the bottom, these different workflows. I'm not sure I love that. I can see why they're doing it, to try and keep the workflow nice and clean, have these sort of subflows within there. But personally, and this is very much personal preference, I think I would just rather have this all in one place. Then I can sort of just zoom in and out and kind of go to where I want to go. That said, I'm sure I probably could do that if I wanted. I think the person who's built this template has intentionally done this to try and keep things neat and tidy. I personally don't like that, but that's just me. So it looks like these subflows are wrapped in something called an error shield. So is this basically an if statement that says if it works, go down one route, if it doesn't, go down another? I'm not quite sure. But essentially, try and catch errors within this node. If there's an error, you have the option of passing through the inputs to handle them another way. Okay, if I click on that, does it give me any information? No, right. Not entirely sure at this point what that is, fine. Then we're doing a bunch of joins. So what's this? This is just connecting, I guess, a bunch of information from that subflow where it's ending with lots of different things. Looks like we're probably going to join that all together. Combine the text into, is this sort of building a prompt maybe? Something went wrong. Send an email notification, right. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is try and test this and just see if we run into any errors or kind of learn just by firing it. So let's click run and just see what happens. Save and run. Okay, it's cloned it to my account. Oh, I really don't like this zoom. Right, let's try again. So it says there's one node with issues. Please fix these issues before running your flow. So for the time being, I wonder if it's going to let me just write test, or maybe I'll pop in the HTML report just so it's got some kind of information. Right, click save and let's run it and let's see what happens. Okay, so this is very similar stylistically to Lindy. I quite like this sort of how the UI is sort of doing this over here. So it's run into an error. What's happened? So join paths failed, invalid paths configuration. Not a fantastic start, given this is a template. You'd kind of expect it should sort of work pretty seamlessly off the bat. So I'll try and do some debugging. In fact, let's try this Gummie thing. So I think this is probably like an AI vibe coding agent that's going to try and fix it for me. So let's see how this goes. The version of this in Lindy is phenomenal. Like you can give it any error and it will basically go and fix it and build up the workflow for you. So for me, the bar is pretty high here. If it doesn't actually fix it for me, I'm going to be a little bit underwhelmed. Okay, it's come out with an essay with a lot of things that I need to do. Right, your error shield caught an error. The flow should continue to the join paths node to merge, but the join paths node isn't properly configured. Connect the error shield outputs to join paths. Right, so it looks like basically because these aren't, why are these not connected? I thought these were connected a minute ago. This looks very different to what we were looking at earlier. I'm pretty certain, unless I accidentally broke this, I'm pretty sure these were actually connected to these. So I'm not sure if that's a bug or what's happened there, but let me just see if I can say, can you fix this? Make the connections for me. Go. Let's see if it does it. I'm getting the feeling it's probably not going to do that if it's come back with a bunch of text. Okay, so it says I can't directly make the connections for you. So that's a little bit underwhelming. I ideally hope that if you're going to have something like this in the platform, ideally it should be able to make those joins. All right, I think like for whatever reason this is completely jumbled and I'm actually just going to start again because this is a bit of a... As I say, I'm not sure if that's my fault or if it's a problem with the template, but not the best first impression, but benefit of the doubt. Lead research, was it? Yeah, let's copy it to my account. So we can see that this was connected here. So I'm just gonna try this again. Let's give it Lindy.ai and email me. It's kind of unusual is that it looks like these aren't connected to it. Yeah, like it's not actually connected to anything. I thought that this was connected to here. So it looks like it's not. I think honestly, I'm gonna abort trying to build this one. It looks like this is probably me trying to run before I can walk. I'm gonna try a more simple workflow. So let's go back to the templates and let's try and find something a little bit more straightforward. What should we do? Let's do a crypto coin researcher. Let's see what we've got here. Can't zoom. Come on, Gumloop. Okay, so enter the name of a coin to get detailed analytics, including price trends. Fine, so I'm gonna copy the template and let's type in SUI, price volatility, Reddit sentiment, save it, let's run, let's see what happens. Hopefully we have a few less errors on this one. So what's actually happening here? So we've got these error shields again. So it's scraping, it's gonna ask AI, it's gonna run web searches. This one's gonna look at the Reddit sentiment, so it should go down this route. Because I think we ticked that we want a Reddit sentiment. And we got all these joins again. Merge the text and there's some kind of output. So this is taking quite a long time. It's been almost a minute now and I've not got anything back. Again, I assume that I've not done anything wrong here. Oh, here we go. So it's come back. SUI is layer 1 blockchain. Yeah, fine. So it's got the live price. Okay. I mean, that has done its thing. Have we got the Reddit sentiment in there? Let's have a look. Reddit. I mean, I'm not like blown away given this is like basically exactly what you would get if you just pop this into a LLM, but it has worked. It's done. I don't know if it's actually got the sentiment in there though. It's basically just come back with some information about SUI. So I don't know if that's actually, can we see what path it went down? So it looks like it's actually come back as, so the output Reddit sentiment is true. I'll be honest, I don't love the whole if statement chaos. It's not the most intuitive trying to sort of make sense between this and this. bit of an unfair advantage given that I've used n8n and things like Lindy and Zapier a lot, and this is the first time I've used Gumloop, but definitely doesn't feel quite as intuitive. I do get the sense that you could probably do some pretty powerful stuff in here, and the actions will kind of make or break it. Looking at here, like, it seems like there are things that I could do here that would be tricky to do in something like Lindy. Probably not in n8n, but it's going to be a bit of a like personal preference whether you go down the n8n route, or this feels a lot more no-codey as opposed to n8n where it's like you're kind of writing the JSON. I'm sure you would get used to this. It's kind of like any UI, like once you've used it for a little while, it kind of would start to make sense. But first impressions, am I going to use, like, am I sort of excited to sort of jump ship and start using this? Not quite, but it does seem interesting to kind of keep an eye on, and I am curious to keep going and trying to build an automation workflow that like does something meaty that I would struggle to do in a different tool. And I feel like that's gonna, like, there's a few hours learning curve to sort of make sense of and become like a little bit immune to the like all this like wrapping and if statements going on. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna sort of have a bit of a look around now, just some of the other things going on in Gumloop, just to see if there's anything else that that I've kind of missed. Ooh, okay, so the Google Ads integration is pretty cool. Can it actually make changes, or is it just reading it? So we've got a reader. I'm just wondering, this is gonna get a bit chaotic now because I'm just gonna drag some things over here. We've got a Google Ads MCP. So yeah, there's some really interesting integrations. I think, like, I definitely get the feeling that you could build some pretty cool stuff in here. I'm just gonna hop out of this now and just have a bit of a poke around, have a look at what else we've got going on, just in case there's anything interesting. What's the Chrome extension do? Build AI browser automations. Okay, cool. That's pretty handy. So I guess for like no code scraping and like multi-step workflows where it's like click here, I could see that being pretty interesting. We used to do something similar to this with QA testing. That's interesting. I'd be curious to give that a go. Templates, cool. So that's just all learning stuff. This is just usual. So I'm kind of curious, I haven't actually looked at pricing yet and how this would compare to something else. So what are we looking at? So if it's me faffing around, basically it's free. I get one trigger. So I can really create one automation for free. Then if I start paying, so it looks like we've got a credit-based system. So I'm curious what is a credit in terms of like how much it uses. I wonder if we can just go back and see. So our crypto one, for example, how many credits did that use? Is there any way of seeing previous runs? Okay, so that's used 1 credit. Okay, fair enough. So it looks like pricing wise, what are we looking at? So 10,000 credits, 37 a month. So that seems pretty reasonable. That feels maybe a bit more affordable than something like Lindy. Obviously it depends. I'm not quite sure if this is going to, like, if a complex workflow would use like hundreds of credits, but at a very basic level, this looks comparable, if not a bit more affordable than something like Lindy. Let's have a look. Anything else going on? So we can create multiple workspaces, credentials. I'm assuming this is just, yeah, so I can connect all the accounts and use them across workflows. What are the premium ones? So we've got regular integrations and we've got premium. So, okay, so this is just the AI models. So I get the gist. It seems like it makes sense. Personally, the UI for me is a little bit not totally intuitive. I remember the first time I used Lindy, I was up and running a lot faster than I was with Gumloop, but it does seem powerful. It seems to me like it's kind of somewhere between Lindy and n8n, like trying to have the kind of power of something like n8n, but still having the kind of the no code drag and drop ethos of something like Lindy. For me, I'm probably gonna still steer towards like using one of those tools. n8n if I have to do something complex, Lindy if I want to do something simple. But seems interesting. I'm going to keep going with this and seeing if I can build out that lead research agent. But yeah, in terms of kind of initial thoughts and feelings, not bad, not blown away, but I can definitely see the potential of Gumloop. So I hope that's been useful. If you want to watch a similar video where I go through a review of the Lindy platform, you can watch that video here, and I'll see you in the next video.